Hello and welcome to Andy and Katie's Allotment. I'm Andy and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the allotment in July. Things are really coming along now, maybe not quite as fast as what we maybe would have hoped with some of the things, particularly the warmth loving vegetables, because yeah, to be honest, it's been more like early spring weather rather than early or mid-summer, really. It's not even early summer anymore, it's mid. So some of the things, as I say, have really come on. I've done some preparation for autumn and even winter. Some sowings that can stay in over winter if they survive. So the majority of the plantings that I've done today and that I want to show you is things that we'll probably start to harvest in, well, October onwards, I would say. They've been put in as plug plants. Most of them are brassicas, but there's a lot of other things as well that are more salad type or autumn type salads, which I'll show you. So without further ado, let's go and have a look round. So let's start as we normally do and look at the compost heap. As you can see, it's nearly full. That's taken me about, I don't know, 3 weeks maybe, not even that, to get to that stage. So there's a lot of weeding, there's a lot of harvesting. All the peas that have been harvested have gone into there, so the plants obviously that have finished now have gone into there. The broad beans, all the things that have gone over obviously gone into the compost heap, and what was in there has now been moved over to here. So that is, I don't know, 8-month-old compost. It's now, I think, more or less complete. They're just leaving it to carry on composting it over the next few months, and then what will happen is when that one has been left for maybe a month, 6 weeks, I'll turn it on top of that one, and then by December, hopefully, what was in the newest heap will be something like that, and I will use that to go over the beds and to give them their winter dressing of compost that will then power the soil for the following year, for 2025. So that's the compost. So the last few sessions down at the allotment have been mostly on weeding and planting out new plants. So this is where the cabbage, red cabbage and the Cavolo Nero were, and I've now just planted. You can see that there's a onion squash growing really nicely now, starting to send out the vine where most of the fruit will come up. Then you see the celery, which was already there, and then what I've planted here is some more Cavolo Nero and also some cabbage, which is called Brunswick, which is a big leafy cabbage rather than it forming one of the hearts. So that compost, what you see there, I've just put on from the heap that I've just shown you, the older heap. So this is my compost that has been spread over, so it's sort of gone full cycle from when I started. So the stuff that I cleared went into the compost, made it compost heap, made into compost, and now has gone back onto the beds, which is obviously the basis of no dig. So if I move over to the next bed, this is where the broad beans were, so they've been cleared, as I said. Bit of a disaster really. They got absolutely battered with black fly. So they've come out. As you can see, I need to do all the edges, but I need to do that with the mower, and that'll neaten all the edges up and stop slug habitat. So there again, a different sort of cabbage called Caraflex, which is, say, more hearting cabbage. So coming on really nicely now is Brussels sprouts. So these were sown, or these were bought from the garden centre a couple of months ago, planted in as plugs, and as you can see, now looking really good, apart from that one which has had some bird damage, I think, but hopefully as they get bigger they'll recover. Just in there, look, snail, so I'll get rid of him, and move down the bed. If I go through 180 degrees, calabrese or broccoli, and as you can see, there is my first head just starting to form. So I would say, I don't know, I'm guessing a couple of weeks maybe, that will be the first head of broccoli from this section. So we're all looking really nice and healthy, as are parsnips behind. So they're going to be a lot of time yet before they're ready. They'll be ready sort of Christmas time, ready for Christmas dinner, hopefully. So, say spinning round, back down. Got lettuces. So these have been a real success. I've just kept on producing and producing. I just put these, didn't even put them in as plug plants, I just mixed a load of different lettuce seeds together, put them in, and yeah, I would say I've got probably, I don't know, 10 kilos of lettuce. It's just kept coming over the last 6 weeks, and I would think I'd probably get another 3 or 4 weeks at least from these. I've thinned them out, and then, as you can see, between the rows, the carrots are coming up. So we've got, I can't see what the variety is. It just says, I just wrote carrots on there, so I don't know what variety of carrots they are, but I think they're more of a autumn stroke winter one. So these are, again, something else that I've sown today. These are endive. So these are more of a winter hardy or cool hardy salad vegetable. I was going to say it's a lettuce, but I don't think it is a lettuce, but it's a similar, you would eat it in the same way as a lettuce. So, spinning round, purple sprouting broccoli, they've been in month 6 weeks now, coming on really nice, and so they'll just chug away over the winter period and start to produce anytime from February till April, really, depending on how early they are. They're a variety called Rudolph. These are some Cavolo Nero kale, which I've had in there for the same length of time. Bought these as plug plants too, and so there's just three there, and then Oh, what we've got here are dwarf French beans. I think there's a couple of varieties in there. I think the one at the end that I'm looking at now, that you're looking at now, are purple variety, and the ones at this end are called Rondo, and they're just a more traditional. Well, I say traditional, I think they're more of a yellow colour pod. So they're coming along really nicely now. So again, if I spin round, put these in today, which are calabrese, so some more broccoli. So obviously the broccoli that I've just shown you, the calabrese, went in a little bit smaller than this, I would say, but these are ones I've grown myself, looking really good. So they should be probably producing their flowers sort of mid-autumn, October, November. So moving around, we've got a sorry looking butternut squash. It's too cold for it, doesn't like it, so it's not really done a lot, but it's still alive, so I'm just going to leave it. So then yellow courgette. Again, courgettes, anything like this, not doing that great. They don't like the cold weather, but we'll see what happens. Some people are saying we're going to get some nicer weather in August, so therefore if we do, they may well shoot off then. This is a Mara, which I have actually got one there. Look, something's had a nibble, but it'll be fine, and we'll see how that goes. And the tomatoes, which again, not great outside tomatoes this year because of the lack of warmth. But anyway, we'll see what happens. They can still be going well to nearly to the first frost, I would say. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Then I've got a couple of courgette plants that I grew myself there. They've really taken off, so they seem to be okay. This bed is basically laid to carrots, but they're just starting to come through. Just a little bit hand weeding needed, as you can see. The edges all need doing, but I'm going to do that when get the mower charged up later in the week. So we've got sweet corn, and those of you who've seen the videos before will know that I've got two sorts. So the first two rows, so the first 6 plants there, are miniature baby sweet corn, and the ones further back are in more traditional type. I think again, they're not liking the cold weather. It's a recurring theme, I think. So if I spin round, I planted a few days ago there some chard. Really got into chard as a vegetable. It's really good in, you know, it really is a substitute to spinach, because it's only just coming, well, another month before you can really start to sow spinach again. Sort of August for it to start to come in the autumn and winter. And then I've got a squash plant there, which again, I don't know whether it's big enough to produce anything, but we'll see. So this is where the Monge 2 were last time we did a video. So they again were a massive success. They produced kilo after kilo of peas with the sugar snaps, and so they've finished now. So what we've got in there is, from left to right, I've got pak choy, couldn't remember what it was. Pak choi, and you can see it's a darker variety, so it's not your traditional light green. It's more of a purpley colour. So then we've got radicchios, or chicory, that will form the red heads, which are called radicchio. So then we've got kohlrabi in the next row, and then we've got Japanese greens and Chinese kale, I think it is, in the next 2 rows. Again, something that I've not even heard of, let alone tried before, so they're going to be something new. Just a point on here about growing things at the right time. I did plant some Chinese cabbage, you know, the sort that you that you would chop up and or slice up and put it into stir fries. But I obviously planted that right at the wrong time, because as soon as it came up, so the plants were only this size, the same as these, were planted at the same time, but they immediately began to flower. So obviously I planted them at the wrong time. So then we've got a couple of plants of chard, and then some more pak choi right at the back. As you can see, what I've done, stand back so you can see it better, is I've put some canes in and made like a cage of netting to try and keep the birds off. So it does seem to be, at this allotment, birds, particularly pheasants, I think, are the culprits, because you never see them when you're here. But there are a lot of pheasants, a lot of partridges as well in this area, and they like the smaller plants. So I've put that structure up there. This is where the peas were, and what I've done is I've put some cabbages in the middle there. So they're the cabbages. Those are the Savoy cabbages, so they're I suppose some people call them spring cabbage, but they're Savoy cabbages. And then these ones are a different variety again, more of a leafy cabbage. The spindly little things you can see are runner beans. Don't think they're really going to do anything, but I've left them in anyway. It's worth just letting them do their thing. And I've just, as I say, I've just put those, and then I've put some netting. It's too big an area to put a cage as such, but I've just done it so that it waves about in the wind, and hopefully is a bit of a deterrent to the birds again. So I mentioned the chard, and this is the chard plants that I've had quite a lot of harvest from. So before I harvested them, they look like those, and I say that I harvested those a few days ago, so they're starting to grow back already from the base of the plants. These are beetroot, and I haven't looked today, but they're starting to swell in the middle of the plants there. We've had a few off there, and these are the ones that are sort of a pinky colour, but they're got the concentric rings that go all the way around. They look like a bit like an onion, really, when you cut them in half. And then I've got some spring onions there that are just starting to bulb up and give me some kind of harvest. I've had some of those, so they're coming along really nicely now. So if I go over to this side, I'm just debating whether there's something wrong with my potatoes. I don't think there is. I think they're just dying back because they're old plants, but I did dig one up, as you can see in that corner there, and the potatoes were really small. I mean, these are King Edwards, so they should be quite big potatoes. They're a main crop, but I think again the weather's not been favourable for many vegetables this year. I think they've just decided that enough's enough. So I think probably in the next couple of weeks I'll harvest these, and I'll let you know whether I was right or not. Whether, you know, whether they were actually there was actually anything wrong with them or not. If we come round to this bed, difficult to see because I've put some netting on it, but these are two kinds of cauliflowers. On the left, you know, your normal white ones, the varieties are all year round, and then the ones on the right there are Romanesco cauliflowers, so they're the green ones. So you can get different colours of Romanesco cauliflowers now, but these are, as I say, these are your green ones. So again, I've put this netting on to try and deter the birds. So these have been planted today, so I say I've got some watering to do. So onto the greenhouse. So these again, I'm not seeing massive amounts of fruit on the tomatoes. Again, I think the temperature is stopping some of them setting. But having said that, I'm only coming straight in here looking as you are, seeing them as you are today. I've not been here for a couple of days, and now I am seeing some fruit begin to form and set. That one's been there a while, but it was on its own for ages, so I was thinking that maybe it was too cold for them, because if we look, 20 degrees in the greenhouse in July, you know, it should be well over that outside, but it's not. But anyway, we'll see what happens. So then we've got here is cucumber. You can see I've got a little cucumber there now, which is nice. Maybe things are settling down a bit. And those are aubergines, and another cucumber that I grew. The cucumber that you've just seen there is one that I bought, as is that one. But that one, I'm told that the yellowing of the edge of the leaves is again a sign of lack of temperature. So if I spin around here, you've probably already noticed that I've harvested my onions. Another success. Really pleased with these. I've got those onions there and those onions there drying out, and I'm going to tie them together and hang them. And then we've got some pepper plants which are now coming into their own. So that's the end of the July tour. As I say, varying amounts of success and failure, but that's just part of gardening. So if you want to carry on seeing how things are going, then please subscribe. It's really encouraging when you see the number of subscribers going up. And I'll catch you next time, and happy gardening.